time right now at 5. We're hearing from the family of a Sherwood High School student who died in a crash early yesterday morning. 17-year-old Sanaville was on her way to school when the car she was driving in hit a tree.
Tonight, her family and her Sherwood High School family is coming to terms with this just unimaginable loss. Our Leslie Moreno joins us now live from near that crash site in Montgomery County. There is a growing memorial there to Sanaa. And Leslie, how is she being remembered tonight?
Well, guys, you can just imagine how difficult this sudden loss has been. You can actually still see those tire marks here on the grass where Sanaa lost control. That growing memorial that you mentioned here, this is where she crashed into that pole and lost her life. We spoke with family tonight and over a dozen of her friends who all say she was the best daughter and the best friend.
Sorry. Sanaa is really someone special to me. Because I was going through a tough time in my freshman year, and she was always there for me.
Tonight, 17-year-old Sanaville is described by her friends and family as beautiful and bright.
And I'm gonna miss her so much.
Over a dozen of her friends gathered outside her home to honor her memory and console her family.
Sanaa was an angel to me. She was my twin sister. Loved her to death. We did everything together. Played sports, do activities, hang out, go to church together. Montgomery County Police say Sanaa was driving to school on Wednesday morning near Norwood Road and Ashton Forest Way when she lost control and collided with the wooden telephone pole. Sanaa was pronounced dead on scene. The two other teens that were in the car had to be removed from the vehicle. Her father recalls his last moments with her as she walked out the door and headed to school.
Before the accident, I'm the last one to kiss her and say goodbye before I leave to go to the driving school. She said she had two people to pick up. I said, it's raining, but she go pick up the other two other students anyway.
Sanaa was a senior at Sherwood High School, a member of the school's varsity basketball team, and an active member of the Black Student Union and school band. She was loved by all her friends. She leaves behind 3 siblings and 2 loving parents.
You know, as father, you have kids, but there is one that you really love. As an example, I just cut my grass today. She always do my grass. She don't want me to be here to do it. She's a very lovely child.
You can tell just how loved she was and the impact she had on this community. Friends tell us those 2 other teens are expected to be okay. One of them is set to be discharged from the hospital today. As far as the investigation, Montgomery County Police is still looking into what exactly happened in the moments leading up to that crash. The family is asking the public for help with funeral expenses. We'll have more information on WUSA9.com. The family also telling us tonight that there is a vigil scheduled for sometime next week. Guys.
She was such a bright light. Our hearts go out to Sanaa's family and her school family. Such a significant loss. Leslie, thank you.
A high school student was killed, 2 others critically injured after a crash this morning in Montgomery County.
Fox 5's Homa Bash live at the scene in Sandy Spring with the latest. Homa.
Hey guys, good evening. Yeah, we just learned in the last hour or so that it was 17-year-old Sanaville who was killed in this tragic crash. Just truly heartbreaking out here. The 17-year-old was driving with 2 friends to school just up a mile to Sherwood High School when the car went off the road just before 8 o'clock this morning. And I want to show you these tire tracks right here in the mud. This is where the car went off the road, slamming into this light pole where Sanaa's friends have been creating a growing memorial.
Well, I was awakened by a bump. Boom! And I jumped up and I saw the car over there. And then the road got crowded. Policemen, Burtonsville Fire Department, all that stuff.
Now, 2 other 17-year-olds, a girl and a boy, both seniors at Sherwood High School as well, were taken to the hospital in critical condition where they are receiving care. Montgomery County Police saying their collision reconstruction unit is investigating exactly what happened here when the car crashed into the light pole just before 8 o'clock Wednesday morning. It appears to be just that one vehicle involved. We do not know at this hour if speed or slick streets were factors. Neighbors telling us they have had complaints about this curve on Norwood Road near Nesbitt Farm Lane for decades. Joy Turner has lived here since her parents built the house in 1955.
Even back then, this was a dangerous road and curve. There have been numerous accidents coming around this curve. It breaks my heart because somebody isn't going home to their mom, and I'm a mom. And it is heartbreaking that this could be mitigated in some way. I'm not quite sure how that would happen, given that we live on a stream valley, but there has to be something that has to be done.
A vibrant presence, very active in the Black Student Union and part of the varsity girls basketball team. Again, just months away from graduating. MCPS is providing support to students and staff, guys.
In Montgomery County, a tragic vehicle collision resulted in the death of a teenage girl and injuries to 2 other teenagers. The incident occurred at the intersection of Norwood Road and Nesbitt Farm Lane, where officers were called to the scene of a significant crash on Wednesday, October 2nd, at approximately 8 a.m. Police reports indicate that the vehicle struck a wooden light pole. Montgomery County Police reported that a 17-year-old girl, identified as Sanaville, suffered life-threatening injuries and was declared deceased at the scene. 2 17-year-old individuals, a male and a female, were taken to a local hospital in critical condition. The school has identified them as seniors who are still receiving medical care. Officials from Montgomery County Public Schools have verified that the 3 teenagers involved in the deadly crash were students at Sherwood High School. We are deeply saddened by this news and are offering support to the students, staff, and families impacted by this tragedy, stated Liliana Lopez, the Public Information Officer for MCPS. Residents living across from the crash site on Norwood Road informed Fox 5 that they have been voicing concerns over the road's safety for decades. Joy Turner, whose parents constructed their house in 1955 and where she has resided ever since, remarked, "This road and curve have always been perilous. Numerous accidents have occurred around this bend." Turner expressed her sorrow over the loss of a teenager's life. The jaws of life were utilized, the doors and roof were visibly torn off. It was horrific, an image that lingers in your mind for a long time, Turner remarked. It shatters my heart knowing someone won't return to their mother, and as a mother myself, it's devastating. There must be a way to prevent such tragedies, though I'm not certain how. Something must be done. Ronald Parrott, living next door, mentioned he was preparing for his day when the crash occurred. "I was roused from sleep by a bump. I leapt up and saw the car over there, and then the road became crowded. Policemen, firefighters, all that," Parrott stated, mentioning that he has resided in his home since 1968 and is concerned about the curve too. As of Wednesday afternoon, the factors contributing to the crash, such as speed or slick roads, were not determined. The MCPD's Collision Reconstruction Unit is conducting an investigation. The road is classified as a state highway by MDOT and MCDOT, yet the segment where the crash took place is under the jurisdiction of Montgomery County. MDOT informed FOX5 that a post-crash assessment will be conducted within the next 2 weeks, noting that there have been no records of fatalities or serious injury crashes in this specific area for the past 6 years. Sherwood High School and MCPS have announced that teams of psychologists, social workers, and counselors will be available to provide support to students and staff in the following days.
It's a song we learned in Zimbabwe. You are Alpha and Omega.
Tonight, family, friends, and teammates said their final goodbyes to 17-year-old Sanaville.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
On On October 2nd, Sanaa lost control of her vehicle and collided with a wooden telephone pole near Norwood Road and Ashton Forest Way in Sandy Spring, Maryland. Her father says she was picking up friends before heading to school. Her two friends survived. Sanaa was pronounced dead on scene.
We give you all, we give you all, we give you all, we give you all. We worship you, our Lord. You are worthy to be say it again. We give you all the glory. In this place tonight, we worship you. Our Lord, you are. Come on, one more time, all over this building. Declare it, declare it.
Yeah, Rebecca, certainly a sad day for the Harford County community. We know that victim is 15-year-old Warren Curtis Grant, who was a student at Joppatown High School. Let's go ahead and take a look of the scene earlier. Now, we don't know the shooter's name, but we're told he will be charged as an adult in this case. And we understand the principal of the school, Melissa Williams, was one of the first people to actually reach the victim that was shot inside the restroom there. She spoke a little over an hour ago about the strength of the Harford County community. Take a listen.
Joppatown is a loving and strong community who will, without a doubt, rally among our families, support one another, and continue to support our community and all of our families. I want to thank our amazing staff as well. We are one town, and we are J-Town.
And back out here live, the Harford County Sheriff Jeff Gaylor addressed his frustration about not being able to interview or interrogate that 16-year-old shooter. Of course, we know the gun is still unaccounted for, and he's very upset that he can't even ask those questions. Jeff Abel will have that part of the story coming up tonight at 10. For now, we're live in Harford County. Vincent Hill, Fox 45 News.
Well, breaking news as we come on the air. WJZ has just acquired the charging documents for the 16-year-old suspect in the Joppatown High School shooting where a 15-year-old student was killed. Welcome to the news at 11. I'm Kelsey Kushner. The Harford County Sheriff's Office identified the suspect accused of shooting and killing a 15-year-old student at the high school yesterday. That suspect is now being charged as an adult. Caroline Forbach is live tonight. And Caroline, what have you learned from those charging documents?
Well, Kelsey, I can tell you that the 16-year-old is currently being held at the Harford County Detention Center. And according to the sheriff, he's already had 10 prior contacts with police over the past 2 years.
He should be charged as an adult for doing adult things in a place where children should be learning.
The 16-year-old suspect accused of bringing a gun to Joppatown High School and using it to kill his classmate is being charged as an adult with murder, assault, and firearms violations, the Harford County Sheriff's Office announced Saturday.
Children have a right to learn, and that was taken away from these babies, and now they can't learn peacefully.
According to charging documents, around 12:30 Friday afternoon, the 16-year-old suspect was arguing with 15-year-old Warren Curtis Grant inside a bathroom at the school. Witnesses told detectives that's when the suspect reached into his backpack and fired a single shot from a handgun, striking Grant. Grant was transported to a hospital where he was pronounced dead. The suspect fled from the school building.
There were police, they had this all blocked off, and they were having people that were in the buildings stay in the buildings, and those that were out wandering around get away from Riley Court.
About 20 minutes after the shooting, Kermit Lindgren says he came home to find law enforcement swarming his apartment complex across the street from the high school.
One of the tenants identified, saw him coming and running into the stairwell, and so they reported it to the police. That's why the Harford County was able to pick him up so quick, which was really good.
The suspect was taken into custody.
So Lord, I am coming before you now, grieving.
The community now grieving a young life taken too soon.
Even though we face terrible tragedy today, we still have hope of a brighter tomorrow.
A vigil was held here at the school last night, but all day today, people have been coming by with flowers and with prayers. Harford County Public Schools says that students will not be expected to return back to Joppatown High School until Thursday.
Jalen Rashawn Prince, 16, faces adult charges of murder, first and second degree assault, and firearm use in a felony violent crime, according to the Harford County Sheriff's Office. Police have arrested the teenager for fatally shooting a classmate on his first day at a Maryland high school, with the announcement made on Saturday. The young suspect was apprehended at a nearby apartment complex shortly after the tragic shooting at Joppatown High School on Friday. Officers discovered him attempting to break into a residence, presumably seeking refuge from law enforcement. The details of the altercation between the suspect, Prince, and the 15-year-old victim, Warren Curtis Grant, remain uncertain, although it is known that the two boys were acquainted. According to police, Prince discharged a single round in a first-floor boys' restroom after a dispute at approximately 12:35 p.m. This incident occurred on Prince's initial day at Joppatown High School. The individuals in the school dragged the victim out into the hallway. He was promptly attended to by nurses within the public school system before being airlifted to Johns Hopkins Hospital in Baltimore, where he subsequently passed away. Within the first 2 minutes, we had our first response deputy on the scene, Galler continued. Within 15 minutes, more than 100 police officers were here from all of our local partner agencies. After the initial shooting, the suspect left the bathroom and left the school. Prince was apprehended at a nearby apartment complex around 12:50 p.m. and remained unidentified until the following day after the shooting incident. The teenage gunman was already known to law enforcement. While the police could not confirm the existence of a juvenile record, they acknowledged that there had been prior service calls involving the individual named Prince. Since 2022, there have been over 10 incidents where the suspect was the victim, witness, or suspect in investigations conducted by the Harford County Sheriff's Office, officials reported on Friday night. A firearm has still not been recovered. The shooting scare comes just 2 days after 14-year-old Colt Gray allegedly opened fire at Appalachia High School in northern Georgia, killing 2 students and 2 teachers and wounding 9 others. Authorities are not permitted to communicate with the suspect, yet they possess sufficient information to charge him in connection with the shooting without an interview, as stated. There is overwhelming evidence. However, the investigation is still active, Gaylor remarked. The Harford County Sheriff's Office has verified that the shooting was a singular event. In a subsequent press briefing on Friday, Gaylor announced the death of the 15-year-old, identified as Warren Curtis Grant. The family was informed about half an hour after the victim was airlifted to the hospital, Gaylor disclosed. The suspect has yet to be charged but will face charges.
A 15-year-old has been charged with several counts of murder after he was accused of shooting and killing 5 members of his family in Falls City and injuring another. According to the court documents, he then called police to claim that he was almost a victim himself. In a call to 911, the teen claimed he ran to a bathroom to escape gunfire, but as court documents show, his only surviving sister told police a very different story. Good evening and thank you for joining us for the news at 10. I'm David Rose.
And I'm Sabir Rayford. We want to warn you the details in this case are disturbing. Tonight, we have team coverage on this tragic story. Fox 13's Dave Dedling is in Falls City with the latest on the surviving family member.
But first, Fox 13's Jennifer Dowling is in our newsroom tonight. And Jen, you've been looking through those charging documents. What have you learned?
Investigators say a 911 call first came in from the 15-year-old just before 5 a.m. when he told dispatchers someone just shot his whole family. The teen then accused one of his deceased younger brothers of committing the crime, alleging he had done so because he'd been caught looking at pornography the night before. However, his sister was able to escape by playing dead after she was shot. The story she lived to tell contradicted his statements in a very dramatic fashion.
Physically, she's doing well, but I can't speak to her mental or emotional state.
Soccer coach and family friend Rhea Robertson was in tears this week after visiting the surviving sibling, the only one able to escape from the family's Lake Alice home after her 15-year-old brother is accused of trying to kill her.
Me and a couple of the parents went down and brought her some things just to say that we were there and that we loved her.
Court documents show that the young survivor was key in telling police what she witnessed Monday morning. She said she was asleep in her room with her 7-year-old sister Katie and woke up to gunfire. She says she could see her brother Joshua shot in the head and her dad Mark hit multiple times, laying in the hallway bleeding from the head and mouth. She says her younger sister Katie went out into the hallway and she heard another shot and saw her sister fall to the floor. Then she saw her brother enter her room, point a gun at her, and shoot once or twice. She thought that a single bullet hit both her hand and her neck and that she immediately felt pain. Then saw him leaning over the 3 bodies in the hall, touching their necks or chest to see if they were alive. She told police when he came back, she closed her eyes and held her breath and pretended to play dead as he stood next to her bed. He left and she escaped out a fire window.
She has a lot of family and, like I said, they're wonderful people, so she's got a lot of support.
The King County Medical Examiner's Office says the second oldest son, Ben, 13, was shot multiple times in the head. Investigators say their mom, 42-year-old Sarah Humiston, also died of multiple gunshot wounds to the head. Investigators said she was found in the bathroom with the door frame of the bathroom splintered as if it had been locked, then forced open.
I saw them as like the perfect family, so it's kind of shocking.
Police also said in court documents that they believe the teen staged the shooting in some way by placing a gun on or near his deceased brother's hand.
A 15-year-old boy was charged with murder Thursday in the shooting deaths of his parents and 3 of his siblings at a home in Falls City, Washington, according to court documents obtained by CBS News. The teen, whose name is being withheld because he is a juvenile, was charged with 5 counts of aggravated murder in the slayings of his parents, Mark and Sarah Humiston, 2 brothers, ages 9 and 13, and his 7-year-old sister, per King County court records. He was also charged with 1 count of attempted murder for shooting and wounding his 11-year-old sister, the documents say. The girl was reported to be in satisfactory condition at Harborview Medical Center in Seattle, according to hospital spokesperson Susan Gregg, as stated to the Associated Press on Tuesday. The King County Medical Examiner's Office concluded that gunshot wounds were the cause of death for all 5 victims. The handgun used in the shooting was believed to belong to the victim's father, the court records state. Just before 5 a.m., Monday, the suspect called 911 with a false story in which he claimed that his 13-year-old brother just shot my whole family and committed suicide too at the family's home in Falls City, a community near Seattle. However, at about the same time as that call, 911 dispatchers received a second call from a neighbor who lives about a quarter mile away. That neighbor said the suspect's 11-year-old sister had run to his house and was bleeding from what appeared to be a gunshot wound, the document said. The girl said her entire family had been fatally shot and identified her 15-year-old brother as the gunman. The girl told dispatchers she was also shot by her brother and then described holding her breath and playing dead, the documents read. The girl later told detectives she had escaped through a bedroom window. Deputies arrived at the Humiston residence, apprehended the suspect in the driveway, and discovered 5 bodies within the home. During a hospital interview with detectives on the same day, the suspect's surviving sister identified the firearm used in the shooting as her father's silver Glock handgun. She said her father kept the pistol in a small lockbox that he would sometimes put by the front door so he could bring it to work, the documents read. She told detectives the suspect was the only one who knew the combination to the Glock lockbox. Investigators determined that the suspect systematically murdered his parents and siblings and then staged the scene prior to the arrival of first responders to make it appear that the murders had been committed by his brother, documents read. The court documents refrained from hypothesizing a motive. The suspect was due for arraignment on Friday afternoon. According to a news release from the King County Prosecuting Attorney's Office on Thursday, the suspect is detained at the Clark Child and Family Justice Center, a juvenile facility. The prosecutors have proposed transferring the case to adult court, as reported by CBS affiliate KIRO-TV on Friday. If the case is moved to adult court and the teen is convicted, they could receive a life sentence with a minimum of 25 years, after which they would be eligible for release based on the state's Indeterminate Sentence Review Board's assessment. The arraignment is on hold pending the determination of whether the case will proceed in adult or juvenile court, a decision that could take several months. Mark Humiston was working as an electrical engineer at Hargis Engineers in Seattle at the time of his death. We are blindsided and saddened by the tragic events that have led to the loss of a respected colleague, mentor, and friend, as well as the loss of immediate family members, the company Mark worked for said in a statement. Mark's leadership and vision were integral within our firm, and he will be greatly missed. Thank you for watching until the end of my video. Your loyalty as a viewer is greatly appreciated. Please take a moment to share your thoughts in the comment section below on any of these videos. I enjoy interacting with my audience, so don't hesitate to leave a comment. I'd love to hear from you. See ya in the next video.